enough for zombie sperm.
Yeah.
What game's that from?
Not from a game.
Okay.
They've just
something.
We came up with this idea
Of zombie erotica.
to write zombie erotica because like we discovered that like dinosaur
Zombie
erotica was really
fiction.
popular, and we were like, that's outselling like everything we write, so we'll come up with something worse and come up with zombie erotica. And then that made us think of zombies. And then in the third conversation with Jordan, we came up with zombie sperm, and then we want zombie sperm to grow our own zombie army, but we don't have enough fate points.
there's not enough fate points in the tin for zombie sperm.
We have to buy a tin then.
But there weren't that many yet.
All the fate points and the blood sacrifice.
Uh-oh. I'm the newest member of the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we can make you turn to water, so you have fun factor, so we will
Oh, okay.
Now, from that bracelet, all I can see is OCK, which generally isn't a good thing. Oh, rock. Okay. I was thinking sock, of course. But
Band.
as last we left the adventuring party, I would call them a team, but they have to work together in order to be a team.
It was
And
meant
we worked together to stop me dying. I was only
Yeah.
unconscious.
So, Hank rocketed to the sky. He was a rocket ship, and then smashed through some really kindly placed ice,
Sorry about that.
and then slammed into two other members of the party. Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who did he slam into? Was it?
Vaminari.
It was
Vam
Vaminari.
tried to catch him, but punched him with his iron fist in the back of the head, knocked him out.
Yes,
and then
that's
he
what
landed on
happened.
our.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vaminari, very upset by being landed on, decided that they had enough and they were going to go on their own adventure, and they were going to go find a god and try and control the god by believing and then not believing and then believing in him again till he gets so frustrated he's like, fine, what do you want?
So screw him with the god.
They're going to screw with the god. You're unconscious. You were watching and laughing.
Yes.
Yeah. And everyone else is deciding just what they were going to do.
Well, I think we need to go and find Thanatos, because he's the one in charge of like the door of death and that. So I think we should go look for him.
That's typical. Bam fucks off, and then we've got to complete the task.
Maybe if we complete the task, the count will owe us a favour. It could work well for us.
Oh, and then Bam will have to hand back his armour and cape.
Yeah, yeah.
Or what's left of his cape.
Yeah.
Didn't most of it burn off? And then he got it
He
replaced
got
with a purple
he
one?
replaced
Yeah.
it for bed sheets.
Oh, okay.
Because he didn't want the princess one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Although I thought the princess one was fabulous, personally. You know, anyone who can pull off a princess cape is doing well.
yeah.
So would anyone like to attempt to bring back the wizard to see if he's seen anything of use? Or are you just going to drag him by his cape and hope you find something interesting?
I could like heat you up. Like I don't know, like
So you're
or
gonna-
just
You're
slap
going
you
to
around
put your
the face.
hands on him and he's going to get warm.
Yeah.
Like a heat pack.
I think he probably needs
Or
water.
you could wake him up with cold water.
Yeah,
Right.
like create a bubble and just like drop it on his face.
As a result of repeated attempts to do magic and failing, it seems that Izzy's skills have changed slightly. Through not using certain skills and through overusing other skills, they've actually been replaced by more useful things.
I might do magic.
To be fair, we did that after the first case. We got scared. We thought, investigation is an important one we should have.
And athletics.
Yeah. I think I had athletics, but I was just shit at it, so I pushed it up.
Mm.
I think I've got
You trained.
Yeah.
I took driving because we crashed so many cars.
Yeah, because then we could drive. Because in my mind it's like, oh, we can drive in real life, so we can
Yeah.
drive in the campaign.
I think
we can
because you
scale.
have them, it's high enough that you couldn't roll low enough. We'll assume that. Because if you lose the skills, I'm going to make you start rolling for
Well,
it.
if we ever learn
Apparently I'm not
again,
very
I'm
good
changing a few
at
things.
So, discipline and conviction if you'd like to. All you're doing at the moment is creating sort of like the equivalent of a bowl of cold water, is it?
Unless I can do a bowl of cold water that might have some healing properties in it.
Well,
You
you
could
can
give
try.
him an ice mask on his face. That'd be hilarious.
Wasn't it the back of his head that needed help? Not the front of his head. Let's try not making it worse. Okay, so
Yep, discipline and then conviction.
Drowning.
So discipline is how well you do it, and
Create a
conviction
puzzle
is
and
how
hold his
strong
face
you
into
do it.
Until
Okay.
he starts bubbling. And then
So-
put his robe on and
Wait,
move
which
his
one
arms
was
to
it?
make
We're
him
disciplined
dance.
first.
discipline. Okay, that's 2 with that then.
Okay, so that's You haven't got a lot of control.
Duh.
And now this is how much or how strong what you're creating is.
Nope, that's one.
That's one. Okay, so what you've done is you've sort of like tried to create really nice cold water, and what you've done is you've created something that had more of the viscosity of cold slime, and you just it just sort of like goops onto his face.
Just like zombie sperm.
No zombies.
Might wake him up in horror.
And so you've got the
It's a
equivalent of
slippery
ice
thing,
cold silly putty, just sort of like rolling down your cheek. Some of it pools in your ear.
Gooey.
Do you want to roll discipline, see if you wake up?
Yeah.
You might not want to.
Yeah.
Give him an apex gimp man.
That's a very high roll,
Wow.
actually. Why couldn't I do that on a spell? Right, so that makes it 7 discipline.
Okay. You're awake. You've had a really good cup of coffee and an energy drink, and you're covered in slime.
I'm not going to ask. I said we've got a towel.
There was only one guy here, is all I'm saying.
Why is it so cold?
Touched by Hades. How you feeling?
Licks.
Like, I fell
Being pissed
several hundred feet, maybe.
You kind of did.
Yeah. It was
Oh.
spectacular. You twirled and everything.
Can I see if I remember anything?
You can.
Discipline?
Yep.
5.
You remember seeing something that can only be described as a necropolis. It's practically a cathedral made of black stone, glossy, bright, with an eerie glow emanating from the windows. Spirit-like images swirl around it, and it seems to be about one day's solid walk away in that direction.
That way!
But that's all you said to them, it's just... Because they haven't heard what I said.
Oh,
Black house, that way.
Black House Necropolis. Big spirit voodoo place.
Let's go!
I think you have concussion.
Yes.
Can I
Quick
check
photos.
to see whether my plan leads in that direction?
Go ahead, roll for display.
Alright, 2.
It does.
And wants to go there too. Eh?
Well, that way.
Boom! Boom!
Should we leave like a sign or something if Bam and Ari come back after they finished moping?
We
could
could
draw.
draw.
Sand,
Yeah, I think
yeah.
we could draw like a castle in the sand, or make a sand castle
With an arrow.
Yeah.
Would you like to do that?
Yeah.
Roll craftsmanship to make a sandcastle.
I can make
I
wet
could
sand.
craftsmanship.
Oh, there we go.
Maybe, unless I get it wrong.
Wet sand might be better because it might hold its
Yeah.
0.
structure.
Maybe
right?
Zero. You're going to make another sandcastle at the same time. And you're going to create some water for them to make, yeah?
2.
Do I have to roll twice?
So you don't need to roll very high.
Fake points
so-
everywhere.
1. Could you roll plus? Come on, guys.
What was a
One.
plus in?
1. You made some water. Not a huge amount. It helped a little bit to keep the sand together. You've
Like
made...
a glass.
You did make sort of a vague castle-ish shape, and you made sand boobs.
And a big arrow.
You spent a
pointing.
while on the sand boobs.
That's going to distract them.
Yeah, exactly.
So a roughly drawn castle arrow and very well put together sand boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Natural boobs too. Age up shape.
So roughly drawn castle and sand boobs.
And an arrow pointing.
And an arrow. Good. Cool. Follow the nipples.
Because everything goes.
Yeah, it's roughly about a day's walk. At this point, everyone's resources and food and stuff is running quite low because no one really brought anything, and you've been here a few days.
Yeah.
We could ask the lovely married couple that we just dealt with.
I think enough happened with them already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Bam has done enough for everyone when it came to that.
And you as well. You were yelling at them. I played like a tiny part. You got a knuckle in the back. Yeah, I don't suppose they'd appreciate us like knocking on the door going, can we have some like snacks? If you're going to start arguing again, we need snacks. Is there anything around here that would have food or?
It's pretty desolate. Yeah, there's huge amounts of desolation and more desolation and some ash and some dead trees and occasional desolation.
Dinosaur bones.
No, there's no delicious dinosaur bones. Can't suck the marrow out of a dead velociraptor.
Do we remember what we had in the fridge in the library agency? I could try really hard to magic it over here.
You had to have the fridge dropping.
I reckon you should.
You're giving us ideas. This is Earthworm Jim happening right now, isn't it?
Yeah, try magic our fridge.
I don't want to bring the fridge here. We'll never get it back. It'll be sandy.
But it could be like luggage and follow us around. You could give it feet and it can just.
I'm not going to try and bring the fridge here.
Well, whatever you'd like to try and do, you go right
Egg
ahead.
splatter on your head. This is on you.
But you're going to have to roll lore to see if you can work out the spell, because it's not
Okay.
something you've cast recently or ever.
Okay. Let's try and bring some food from the library agency to here.
Taking shelter. This is how you guys feel when I pull my gun out.
Yeah.
3.
You think you know a spell about summoning food.
Okay. So, discipline conviction.
Yep, discipline, so how much control you've got.
3.
There's a huge amount of control. And let's see how much energy you put into the spell.
Ooh. 6.
So you've not no control and a huge amount of energy.
Oh dear.
Whatever
Whatever it is, it's alive.
At this point, you hear sort of like a thunderbolt from directly above you.
Oh no.
And everyone looks up, and the biggest watermelon you've ever seen. Just a massive watermelon. Literally, the size of a hippo is directly above everyone's heads.
Run!
Oh, you're doomed.
What did you roll?
-3.
Cool.
2. Ooh!
Oh wow.
Athletics is
Can I have a piggyback?
3. That's my highest ever athletics roll.
I go like all pluses. No one cares. I'm gonna die. Oh god.
What's this on?
It's
Athletics.
still 4. It's okay.
2.
2. Right, so
Do I
you
get,
rolled
like,
2.
a bonus point for rolling
So we
2
rolled all
pluses.
pluses.
Well, because
We
you
had
rolled
zeros.
4 pluses, you get to have a legendary roll. So what did you do to dodge your way out of this watermelon?
Oh wow.
Did you actually create proper rocket shoes out of your fire?
Ooh yeah, I could have done.
And
backflip.
You
So-
Scarlet Witched it.
Yeah, I went up like that, and then I taunted everyone by flying around them.
Got you.
Right, so Blaze escapes, obviously. Did you squirrel form or did you just dodge out of the way as a human?
I'm faster in squirrel form, so I'll quickly transform and
Okay.
parkour out the way.
Yep, so you parkoured up a tree, as out of the way as you could get. You sort of like stumbled, rolled over your robe a couple times, and managed to fall down a sand dune out of the way. Unfortunately, the alertness of Izzy and Jazz was not quite so high, so you didn't get hit by the watermelon, but the watermelon explosion that followed soon afterwards did cover both of you in large
So-
amounts of pip and flesh.
So you're
And-
covered in watermelon slime.
Yeah. Delicious watermelon slime.
Yeah, works for me.
It seems to taste faintly of cucumber rather than watermelon. You're not really sure why. It's still refreshing, but it's not right.
A good face mask as well.
Want some watermelon? We've got a chunk there.
There you go. Thank you.
So everyone's just eating watermelon.
Watermelon, yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's just like eating watermelon at the beach.
It's the best thing you could have conjured because it's food and it's liquid.
Yeah.
Suits me fine.
Although, don't fall over because you're sticky, the sand will stick to you.
Yeah.
This is stuff you know.
You're going to get melon and sand in places you didn't realise you had
Yeah.
places.
Yeah. Are there wasps here?
Might be demon wasps.
I I could try to shower
God,
us,
what?
but given my track record so far.
Sleet! No!
It's so frustrating!
Icicles!
It's right, you can turn the watermelon into a slush puppy.
Right, should we like box up some of this?
Yeah.
Box it up.
Yeah.
It's right, as we know, the agency constantly carries Tupperware for things like
I have
ferrets,
I
blood,
heard, yeah,
and
blood, yeah.
watermelons.
Watermelon.
I have a box in my bag for cursed artifacts.
Yeah.
You could put some cursed watermelon cucumber in it. Cucumber melon.
Should we go then?
Yeah.
You could call it the water cucumber.
Okay, so you head in the direction that both your brand and Steve's slightly patchy memory towards what may or may not be some sort of necropolis-style building. About a third of the way, it's the equivalent of what would have been night. It's up to you if you want to carry on walking through the night to get there faster, or if you want to rest up and make sure that everyone's fully rested.
We could walk through the night because it would be cooler. So
Is there darkness here, or is it?
Well, it's more like the sky's gone from crimson to a sort of reddish purple, so you assume it's meant to be night.
There's no temperature difference there.
It's marginally cooler, but there's still fire everywhere.
Not enough to make a difference.
Not really. It's sort of like going from a musty building to a musty building, a musty outside with occasional breeze.
Do you need to rest up to get better, or are you healed?
He could probably do with a nap, considering he's working on a concussion.
Okay, yeah, well, we'll find somewhere to sleep.
Yeah, there's plenty of sort of like ruined buildings around. Nothing that seems to be too temple-like, so you shouldn't upset anyone by sleeping in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
So you set up camp. It's not going to be difficult to find a campfire.
We just
Roast
run
water.
into another one.
Cool. More campfire. Everyone sort of like just chills out around the fire. Does anyone want to do anything?
I want to practice to try and make water.
Yeah. Go ahead. Do a quick practice for water.
Away from
Away from
else.
it.
I'm going to climb on the ruins and demonstrate to Hank how he looked falling. I go backwards and turn a bit. I like act it out.
How'd it go?
1.
1
Yeah.
for discipline or conviction.
Discipline.
Okay, so no control.
3.
Some power. You've sort of like tried to create water, but all you did was froze your hands.
I'm on the fire.
You can melt our hands
And-
and then we can catch the water as
Yeah.
it
You're warming one up and you're holding the other one to the back of Steve's head. Sort of an ice pack. You feel a bit better.
Hey, I did something.
You accidentally healed by freezing your own hands. Told you had healing powers.
I'm just going to like look around and see if there's anything of value.
Nothing of a huge amount of value around. It seems like whatever was of value here has probably been taken. There seems to be a lot of sort of like shards of pottery where they might have been vases, and that you occasionally, as you're sort of like wandering around, you see pedestals where things were probably put on display at some point, but don't seem to be anymore.
It's like future me has been here before. I'm just going to take the shards of pottery then, you know.
Just
why not?
take some pottery
Yeah.
shards.
They could be used as a weapon as well.
Cool. You've got some really old shards of pottery. So everyone rests up, prepares for tomorrow, and heads out full of more water cucumber melon. And heads further on in the direction of the horrible, scary looking building. As you're moving along, you hear two people sort of debating. They're not arguing, they're just debating with each other about the merits of demigods.
Let's go stick to us and it went well
Yeah.
last time.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And so, as you head towards them, you in particular recognise one of them.
But just vibrated.
Boom!
But you got a message and I happened to be sitting on it.
Did you need to check your ass vibration?
Yeah, no, that was unexpected.
Oh. You recognise one of them. It appears to be the god Nemesis. Being around Hades, it's someone who's like spent some time with Hades before. They've never really been corporeal in the real world as a result of not being particularly well remembered, but you definitely recognise them from pictures and sort of astral phone conversations.
On his Facebook page.
Yeah, exactly. Godbook.
Batman's Nemesis. Sort of recognise him from being in the
I think Godface would be better.
Godface, yeah.
Yeah.
The other deity there has two faces, one on the front of the head and one on the back of the head.
Janus. Can we go over in this then?
Yes, of course, yeah. So-
Does Nemesis know me or probably not?
Well, for all we know, Hades has got several agents of his own, so individually you probably wouldn't be well known, but I expect someone who's spoken with Hades in the past would recognise the Biden brand as someone who's been, of Hades. So you head over and you're just listening in,
Yeah.
and they're talking about the Battle of Manhattan. A lot of crazy nonsense went on, demigods were involved, didn't end well for lots of people. Nemesis seems very upset about the whole situation. Janus is more sort of like, it all balanced out in the end sort of kind of thing.
Would anyone want to speak to them? Or? Yeah, we could go over.
Okay. So you go over, Nemesis spots you all, seems very surprised that you've made it into this area, not a lot of not deities / spirits have ever really walked here.
Well, we're the A team, so things can survive here. It'd be us.
And it seems that Nemesis has heard of you. As the god of
reputation precedes us.
as the god of revenge, a lot of people have prayed for revenge.
I should be worshipping you, Nemesis!
But a lot of people seem to have prayed for revenge against you. All. But in
All of
particular,
us.
in particular, Blaze. But
Yeah, I can see that. I might have rubbed a few people up the wrong
Torched a few people.
Yeah, killed a few people.
But as a result, because more people have prayed for revenge, it has sort of increased Nemesis' strength.
Oh.
So,
So you should reward me then, really.
well, as thanks, Nemesis will offer advice or answer any questions that she is able to.
Right, think carefully now. No one ask a stupid question.
Did we ask what the wizard is this?
Yeah, because the wizard might have been taken for revenge or something.
Yeah. Could you tell us where our wizard is?
Not this one.
Not
No.
that one.
What's the wizard's name?
Mr. Magic? What was his name?
What was his name? We did know his name. Did we? I don't know. Did he tell us his real name?
He's been away so long.
Well,
He committed a lot of fraud, so we were never entirely sure which name was his.
well, unfortunately, without his real name, I can't work out where he's been.
Can I do a check to see if I remember his real name?
You can try.
What am I checking for?
It's going to be concentration, so it's going to be discipline again.
4.
Unfortunately, it's still too concussed to remember.
Is it Albert?
Wasn't Wizard, was it?
He's hard. He's a wizard. He's wizard. So yeah, it seems that unfortunately Nemesis can't work out where the wizard is.
How about who owns the strange dark building that we're going to, or who's likely to be around the strange dark building?
That would be Thanatos, the god of the who guards the door of death, who probably you'll have some sort of link to, being a man of Hades.
Is there anything we can do to not piss him off?
Well,
It's a force of habit with him.
Thanatos doesn't look like a god of death. A lot of people mistake him for Cupid.
Is he
Oh,
naked?
is he, I was going to say that. Is he naked?
He's not naked.
Oh, okay.
He usually goes topless, but I think that's just because he likes his body quite a lot.
Oh, we
But
like
I-
his body.
I wouldn't recommend staring too much. But he is fond of connections between people. So if you can show that you have a good connection with each other,
So if we all
he'll
go and hold
appreciate
in
it.
hands or something.
maybe not such an open display of affection. I mean, we don't want much PDA up in here. You're not off to see the wizard, you know.
I'm trying to.
At this point, Janice just turns to you, and then turns to you again, and
Do it well.
yeah. He says that very soon doors are going to appear in your future. These doors are going to be very important to you, and you're going to have to make some very difficult decisions about them.
Does one of them include the door of death?
It could.
This
His
post-
eyes had glazed
one
over
is
when he
there.
said this, and his eyes sort of unglaze, and he just starts muttering to himself, and the other face mutters back.
Is anything good going to happen in our future?
Well, choices always happen in everyone's future.
Oh.
Some of those choices could lead to good things, and some of those choices could lead to less good things.
You don't know who happened to die outside our door, do you?
Who happened to die outside the door?
Yeah, the agency door.
Before the agency crumbled to a crisp.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard about that bit.
It was a changeling of some sort.
A changeling?
Yeah.
There's a lot of changelings. I do remember there being a strange surge in power at the time, which is considerably more power than you'd normally expect from or around a changeling in general.
Did the wizard kill him?
Well, again, who is this wizard?
Well, he kind of used to run the agency and then he disappeared and then we got put in charge and kind of wondering if the wizard, secretly thought that the A-team was a bit shit and wanted to promote us, but they were stopping him, so he engineered this whole thing, killed someone outside the door, made the rest of them disappear so it would be our time to shine.
That sounds
No.
unlikely.
Now, if the wizard did engineer all of that, he got it a bit wrong because the agency crumbled to a crisp.
Yeah.
A
It
lot
did
of things burned down.
it did sort of
Maybe
burn
he
down.
had too much faith in us and just...
Well, I haven't heard much about this wizard, which probably means not many people have desired revenge against him. I don't know if
I
maybe
see
he's
that
a
as
little more
being
subtle about what
unlikely.
he does.
You were talking about the Battle of Manhattan. Is that like a major battle?
It was a major battle a long time ago.
Were our team involved? The
I-
previous team?
Don't think so. I think you were dealing with, well, your previous team was dealing with something else at the time.
So that's not the major battle.
Was there another major battle?
Involving the
It's
Avengers?
one of the questions. The major battle.
No, it wasn't the Avengers.
Shit.
That would have been a funny joke, though. No, I am referencing
Is
something
there
else.
Thor in this, isn't there?
They sort of go back to their argument about demigods in general and seem to be pretty much ignoring everything around them.
Nemesis, can I keep you as a pet? Because people have revenge against me, but I might need to strike first, and if you would sort of my sidekick.
Nemesis turns around with pretty much overt anger in her eyes saying, "Did you say pet?"